Today's Kirby fun is going to star the Turbo Accessory and the Legend 2, which is sat just out of shot down there, and this table. I have a jar of beeswax. I also have a bit of wood which we're going to try and sand. I don't know what this is going to be like. I don't know if this table is going to come up very well. I've got a bit of beeswax in there to just test it. Let's see what happens. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums. How are you today? We're going to try and polish some sort of shine onto this table using some homemade beeswax, apparently. So before we do much else, I'm going to put the beeswax on just so it can start to cure whilst we chat and unbox the sander accessory and everything else really. I have no idea where this sander accessory came from in relation to the machine, because obviously it's from a Centria, not a Legend, but I don't know if you could just buy them separately or not really. So put this very solventy smelling beeswax on. There we go. Rub that in nicely. Marvellous, there we go. Just wipe your hands off and this can go away and we can unpack the sander. What do we have inside this Centria sander? Well, obviously we have the sanding unit, which we shall need. We won't need the sandpaper yet. We won't need that at all because that's fairly self-explanatory. I'm not going to massage myself. We want the pad, which I have washed for this video to get rid of whatever was on it. That just came off in the water really. That was very easy. I've also got the actual instruction manual that came with this machine. Now at the back we have the Turbo Sander accessories, and it says the polishing pad is ideal for buffing furniture to a lustrous sheen or for polishing shoes. Oh, we could try that as well. Don't use the dust shroud with the pad. So we need to take the dust shroud off. We'll leave that in a bit, but we'll take the dust shroud off to just leave this part here. And to fit the pad, all we need to do is tuck the ends under there and push down on this lever, and then do the same at the back. Bit more fiddly at the back. It is. There's the lever, there's the lever. And there we go, we have the buffing pad set up. Might just give it just a quick go on this bit just to see what it is like to use, because I've never used it before. Although first we obviously need to set up the hose on the Kirby. So we'll undo the cable, we can plug that in a second. We need to take off the brush roll head like so and fit the hose onto there like so. Then the hose simply just plugs into the back of the sanding unit like that. Right, let me just plug this in. Table back into shot. There we go. So we're just going to buff this. Actually, what we could do just to check is I have some normal polish here, which will be fine. So we'll just put some just normal furniture polish on there. Just give that a check. That's still quite gloopy, and we'll see how this works. and already that's picked out a fair bit of filth from this table. And the polished bit is shinier. There's not much of a difference, admittedly. It will be this that will be the real key, but it still needs to go off. So we're going to pause, wait for it to go off. I'm not going to make you watch 10 minutes of it curing, and then we'll come back when it's ready for its buff. So it's been about 20 minutes now. Time to give this bit a good buffing. Well, that is not bad. It has completely clagged up the pad, I'll be honest. I think that's possibly what's not helping it too much. It feels a little bit sticky still. So I'm just going to give it a quick rub with this cloth, just to get the stickiness off more than anything. Remove the clag. I think I probably should have left it a bit longer. I've never used beeswax before. My mum didn't tell me. So we'll get that off there. Then what I'm thinking is I'm going to fold this microfiber in two and just see if I can use it like that, really. That is much better. Already I can feel that that is smooth. And coming down to the back of the table, where that bit I've done with polish, that is a big difference. I don't think I can really show you on camera because it's not bouncing the light off as such. Yeah, that bit's done. And that bit isn't done. It's not too bad. Certainly I can see it working well if you have a very shiny piece of furniture, as opposed to this, which isn't shiny, it's matte. I'll be honest. Get the bits out from inside that bit that I didn't do. Not too bad at all. So there we go. Right, on to something else. So we have polished, buffed with the turbo sander. What next? Well, obviously its real name is it's a turbo accessory. I shouldn't have called it a sander, but it is probably more like to be used as a sander. So if I just come up here and fetch the sandpaper itself, we'd best try some sanding, haven't we? And I have this lovely block of wood right here, and we're going to try and sand it. Now there is some sandpaper with this. I've no idea how good it is. What have we got? We've got 80 grit, 80 grit, 120 grit. So we'll start with the 80 grit. God, this has been in storage for a long while, this has, so it might need a little bit of help just to be flattened out. There we go, there's one. No, that's not quite centred up enough. There we go. Right, well, we are fitted, so... Nah, only joking. Oh, we need to put dust shroud on. Because obviously then we won't get much dust, I don't think. We shall find out. So there's the dust shroud. Put the hose back in. The bag is on the cleaner. Not bad. Not bad at all, but I wonder what it's like with the shroud off. Not too bad, although obviously you do the dust shroud does work well. I'll be honest. So yeah, not too bad. I'm going to carry on sanding one side of this, I think, just to get it quite smooth, and then we'll move on to the 120 grit. I'll put the dust shroud back on for this, so, and come back when it's smoother. This I'm going to stick with this side, and it's not too bad at the minute. Let's get rid of that bit there. Let's see if we can get it a bit smoother. So I've been going at this for a couple of minutes now, and that is nice and smooth. I can't really show you because the light doesn't bounce off of it, but that is nice and smooth. So we shall now move on to the 120 grit sandpaper, just to see if we can knock it down even smoother, really. So we'll put that on, clamp. Put it on this side, clamp, put the dust shroud back on because that really does help quite a lot. Oh, this 120 grit has a little tear in it, so I need to be a little bit careful, but it's not the end of the world if these go rubbish, because well, there is a 120 grit anyway. But I think this is just bog standard. I could buy these by the A4 sheet. I don't think they're genuine Kirby, they're just random 3M sandpaper. So I can make new ones of those, I'm not too fussed about that. Right, let's 120 it. Well, compared to say that side, which is very hard and rubbish, that is lovely. That has come up an absolute treat. I can't really show you much more than that, but that is beautiful. And I've got to be thinking, I wonder how much we could polish it up. So let's put some beeswax on this. Random bits of scrap wood that I found in the garage. There's always lots of just random bits of wood sat under the bench in the garage, as all good garages should. There we go, there's a nice layer of beeswax on there. Let that cure and we'll see how that does. That's already looking a bit nicer now. So let's see what happens when this dries. So our block of wood has gone off now, a bit better than the table did. Oh, let's see how well it comes up. Very nicely indeed. Again, can't really, it's not really a transformation, but okay, that is silky smooth now, and it started off life like that. So yes, you can use the Kirby as a very competent sander, really. Very competent indeed. Apparently you can also use it to polish shoes, and I think there's enough beeswax on here for us to maybe do something with my work shoes. Or not, because I just use furniture polish and not boot polish, mainly because I don't want to make that go black. So, yeah, hasn't really polished my shoes, but never mind. But yes, with the right materials and probably the right chemicals, I don't think beeswax is probably the better thing to use, you can polish. You can see there what it should look like. I'm going to put this in the wash now. But it's not been too bad. We have our block of wood, which can go back in the garage. We have our table, and we have our Kirby Turbo Accessory. Yeah, well, that was jolly good fun. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found it fun as well, and I shall see you soon. Bye bye.